Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. History of today we will now about the history of United States, part 7, 17. As World War I great in Europe from 1914 and President Woodrow will stroke and full control were foreign and policy declaring an nature and vote the warning and Germany the recent petitions of unrestricted and submarine were against to the American and ship safely goods to elite the nations World War mean Germany and dedicated to take these risks and try to win by cutting and supplies to bring and throw to the sinking of ships such as the MS Louisiana and the US and declared war in April and 1917 mainly from the threat of the bombardment and telegram. And American money, food and munitions and arrived in Europe and quickly. But troops had defied and trained but summer 1918 American and soldiers were underground and General John and Pershing's American expeditionary process arrived at the late and 1008 well Germany was unable to space 8 losses and distance against the war was supported by the Seditions Act of 1918, Experience Act of 1917, and German language left list and pacifists and publicans were the purchased and Weber 2000 were imprisonment were speaking but against the war. The political and parents were the released and by US and President Warren. Handling the assault was a land victory in number and President William the demand and Germany they processed the Kaiser to accept it hits the terms in the President and 14 points a speech and will and so on dominated in 1919 Paris speech conference but Germany was treated hardly by Alice the treaty and very precisely 1919 as Wilson put all the scopes in the new language of nation. Wilson reinforced and comprehensive with the Senate and Republicans over the uses and congratulations power to declare war and the state and Senate and the reject to the treaty and delegates rewarding 20s in the 1920 the US and grew steadily in stature in economics and military world power. The United States and Spanish did not ratify the Treaty of Versailles and imposed by its allies of the divided and central power established the United States and chose troops and initializations the aftershocks of Russian October revolutions resulted in federal fear and communism in the United States and leading to the rage deportations of aliens and considered and served. While public and health and facilities grew and rapidly in the progressive era and hospitals and medical schools and were modernized nations in 1918 and 1919 were lost approximately 6 lakh and 75,000 lives to the Spanish flu and painful in 1920 the manufactured sales and important and export atolls were the prohibited by the illiterate arrangement and prohibitions. The result was that in cities and illegal stole and became the big business and largely controlled by the Rickstatters. The second Ku Klux Klan and grew rapidly in 1922-1925. Then closed and immigration was strictly limited the number of new entrants and the 19 uh, of squads and roaring the 20s due to the great and economic prosperity during to this period and just became the popular among the younger generation and those decades as also called the jazzies. The Great Desperation, 1929, 1939, and the New Deal, and 1993 and 1936, were diseases and movements in American political, economics, and social history that respected the nations. And Great Desperation and the New Deal, and maintained article of a state and jail, were also got Navy awards. And during to the into 1920, the nation enjoyed an widespread and prosperity added with a weakness in agriculture, a financial battles was felt in the influence in stock market, which later and led to the stock and market crash. On October 1929 and 1929, along with many other economic factors, and triggered worldwide and desperations are known the Great Desperations. During to this time, the United States experienced deflation of prices fell and unemployment soared from 30% 3% in 1929 to 25% in 1933 and price will help and manufacturing about such a output and plan get by behind 1932 Democratic and presidential Romania and Franklin Roosevelt and promised a new deal from at American couples and coming in the enduring level from the Democratic Polish. The result was a serious and permanent reform and programs including life and employment assistance and also elderly and jobs and young men social security, unemployment insurance, and public housing and bankruptcy insurance and farmers subsidence and the regulation for financial security. And state the government and new programs as well and introduced the sales and tax to pray for them and ideological the revolution established a modern labor systems in the United States and the kept and Democrats in power in Washington almost country seriously in their decades at trying the zeal and coalitions of ethnic whites, black and blue collars and worker labor unions and with the South manners. It's provided relief to the long and trans unemployment through rebounds and programs who is the works programs and administration WPA and war young men the civilians and conservation crops and large scale and spending project designed to the provide and private sector in the rebuilt and in structural where the under PBO and Republic Works Administration. The second new jail was turned to 1935 1930 building to the labor unions through Vanguard Act. Unions became the powerful elements of the merging the drill in coalitions with the elections results in 1936, 1994, 1944 and mobilizing union members. Blue color workers and receptions big city and machines ethnic and religious and groups, specifically Catholic and Jewish and the South along the with blacks and with the white very reserves and seriously weakened and second high we party and expect and support who is the main hand of conservation and resistance to his programs. Thank you for watching my videos. Please like, share and subscribe my channel for upcoming videos. Goodbye.